What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're taking another look at Starfield already here on the Steam Deck, and that's because at the time of making this video, a new mod has gone up on Nexus Mods that helps out with the performance, and I'll have a link in the description for that, and we'll go over how I installed it and got it to work here on the Steam Deck, and I'll show you comparisons to the footage we got on launch day versus the modded footage now. So we got to go to desktop mode here, and on my browser I've gone to the Nexus Mods page for the Steam Deck Essentials FPS and quality of life mods here. Again, I'll have a link to this in the description for you to go to. I'm going to manually download the Steam Deck Essentials VRAM -40 FPS HUD tweaks, and I also downloaded the Steam Deck Essentials Lite. You'll see here I have both in my downloads folder after doing a manual download of those. I'm only using the main larger file here. I'm not using the Lite file right now. So what I did was create a new folder. I moved that Steam Deck Essentials in here and I extracted it, which gave me the 4 files: data, installation, low INI, and Starfield custom INI. And we're going to need to move 3 of those files over into our Starfield folders. So the first one's going to be this data folder, which has the new texture information in it. I'm going to copy that. You can go to home and then local. If you can't see those folders, go in here to your tab up top and make sure you click show hidden files or folders. So we're going to go into local, share. We're going to come down here and we're going to go to Steam. We're going to go to Steam apps. Then we're going to go into compat data. And just like the directions on the website, we're going to go to the file 1716740 right here, which is the file for Starfield. If for some reason yours is different, you're going to have to find it, but it should be that PFX drive C. We're going to come down here to users, and we're going to go to Steam user, and then we're going to come down to documents. We're going to go into my games, and then we're going to do Starfield, and we're going to paste our data inside the already existing data folder. So there's a data folder there. We're going to open it, and then I pasted my other new data folder from that extracted file in here and added it to that. Now, I believe this is the correct way to do it because everything seems to be working for me on the mod, but I am learning my way around still with mods on Linux and especially with Starfield and stuff. So anybody has any tips or if anything seems off, let me know in the comments, but I'm just showing you what I did that seemed to work for me so far with getting this to work. So we're going in here to put the other file in. I'm going to go in here to home, local, share, Steam apps. This time we're going into common. We're going to go into Starfield folder. This is where our game is installed. And you'll see I have that low INI right here. So what I did was I pasted it in here and overwrote the existing INI file for low. Then I came in and got my Starfield custom INI, and I copied it and I pasted it over here as well in the Starfield folder. Now in the directions it says create a folder, named that, and move it in there. I just copied and pasted it. I didn't already have a Starfield custom INI yet, and that's why. If you do have one, you might want to just move the commands over out of that INI folder. Again, I'm still getting my legs under me when it comes to some of this modding on Linux, so I didn't want to call this really a full guide, but I am showing you exactly what I did that got this mod to work for me on here, and definitely hit me up in the comments down below if you have any tips on this. All right, let's get into it here. Everything did seem to work okay, although I am still running on OS beta. I'm still having some trouble with stable and Proton experimental. This combination is still keeping Starfield running just fine with no crashes. Now your settings, you need to go in and change your preset to medium, whatever, and then go back in and change it back to low in order to make this mod work. Other than that, I've got all of my settings already set to match what my existing video was a few days ago for Starfield so that we can compare those. And getting into the comparisons, we'll have the no mod on the left and the modded over on the right. And right off the bat, you will see a difference. Now, there are procedurally generated things in time of day, so everything might not be exactly perfect when it comes to shadows and lighting and everything like that throughout the video, but I did my best to get the comparisons as close as I can, and you can certainly see a difference when it comes to our performance. Now, we always had pretty good frame times ever since launch so far, and the game's made pretty well. But as far as just the overall FPS and keeping us at 30 or above, we really struggled a lot of time on the Steam Deck. And with this mod, we're certainly getting more FPS here, certainly 3 to 5 in that area. Now, and space is a big one for me because I was saying in the original video, I thought we were really missing out on some performance and should have saw some more 40s. I did expect 30s, but dipping in 20s as often as we were in low 30s was a little concerning. And as you can see here with this mod, we actually started off way higher in our FPS, up into the 40s instead of the 30s. And even in combat, I think we went as low as 32 there, 33, and then we kind of bounced back a little bit as to where the deck before the mod for Starfield was certainly struggling a lot more. Space combat and just space flight in general with this mod installed here is just a lot more pleasurable and seems to be working a lot better with dips that just aren't as bad. So just overall, even if for some reason I don't have this mod perfectly installed, which I think I have it all good, it certainly is making an impactful difference here on Starfield. Now here's Crete, the beginning mission where you kind of step out. Again, 4 or 5 FPS difference can make or break a game like this. This could really be helpful. Again, up to you guys about what is or isn't playable and using the mods and that type of thing. But I wanted to show you the performance difference here because I was really surprised at what we were gaining. On the interiors, we gain as well, where I was often able to get up into the 50s when we would be in low 40s on the pre-modded, and just overall able to get a little bit better experience. It wasn't always a lot of FPS or a lot of change. Sometimes it was only a couple, but most of the time the performance would just overall be more consistent, or when there were dips or drops, it would recover faster, if that makes sense. But yeah, it seemed to work pretty well. And this outside area that certainly suffered before the mod still suffers. This is still just a tough, odd area to run, but you will see we stayed like 7 FPS higher there right in the beginning, which is really good. And as I kind of run around out here, and again, this isn't exactly matched footage, but did my best here to kind of get the same area, and you can just see an overall decent difference here in just the FPS and performance here. Now, coming to Alpha Centauri was a big one. You saw big dips here pre-mod, where I just thought this should be running a lot smoother, and with the mod installed, you'll see we just get a lot better performance. 20 FPS at one point there, and we never went below 30 on the modded. Now going into New Atlantis, another tough one to run. You'll see here, while we do still suffer with, we're just hitting hardware limitations and CPU limitations and that type of thing, we still do dip when things are loading in and all of that. It's not a perfect situation by any means, but you can see a big bump in that FPS and just how much better it's even handling this area of the city. Just pretty impressive overall what I've been able to see with the mod installed. And I think for a lot of people, this could really make the game a lot more playable than it was. Even if there are times we're still going sub 30, you're seeing a lot of times where we're actually staying above 30 more often and even hitting those 40s or even 50s on the interiors. Now, the rendered cutscenes, I checked a few of these and all of them seem to be running much better at anywhere from 5 to 10 FPS more. And so that's just much more pleasurable when you're going through the story and watching everything as well. Again, pretty impressive to see that much of a difference. But I think you guys are getting the idea here. Whether I completely did that mod right or not, which I think I did, I'm certainly seeing a lot of the benefits. And I'll be keeping an eye out for updates to the mod, learning more about it, patches to Starfield, and there's definitely apparently more room for improvement here to make such a hard game like this to run on the Steam Deck run better. And this isn't just the Steam Deck. This is supposed to be for other lower end hardware as well. Supposedly maybe we can use it on the Ally and that type of thing. So I'll probably get into some other testing as well. And I did want to mention that for you guys that might want to try it elsewhere. But yeah, here on the Steam Deck, this certainly seems to be making the game much more playable and more pleasurable. All right, guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video. As always, I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.